it's NoLeaf Clover, and this last couple days, being a wrestling fan has been pretty sucky. Um, with Larry Sweeney passing away, another wrestler dying way too young, and probably most shockingly for a group of people who are constantly try to be connected to every single stupid little rumor that comes along in wrestling. The fact that Edge decided to retire last night on Monday Night Raw is, it's one of those things that Edge has always said. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I'm probably retire here. But wrestlers always say, they're gonna retire. Wrestlers always talk about leaving early, and then they never do. And I guess that's just what I kind of figured with Edge. But barring this being a complete and utter work, which doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem like a work. And I guess by tonight we'll know, because the SmackDown spoilers will come out and we'll know for sure. But man, I was not prepared last night to hear that uh, Edge was going to be retiring, and we're gonna probably talk about this more on the show. But I'm not on the show this week. At least I don't think so yet. So I just kind of want to get my thoughts on Edge and kind of what he meant to me as a wrestling fan, because I'm not lying when I say Edge is a major part of the reason why I'm a wrestling fan today. Um, I started I started watching wrestling in summer of 2000 with my dad, and then I kind of fell back out of it for a little while. Didn't really pick it back up until around SummerSlam 2000. If you know anything about SummerSlam 2000, that was the first ever and probably one of the best tables, ladders, and chairs matches. Uh, Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys, and beyond everything else that was going on, that was that was the thing that kind of got me hooked on wrestling. That was one of the best kind of ladder matches I'd ever seen. Spot Fest. But back then when you're young, you don't really know it's a spot fest. You just say, "Wow, that was an awesome match." And I kind of wish I could go back to those days when I was just going, "Wow, that was a great match. I like that match." Um, I always loved Edge. Edge was pretty much right from jump. I started watching wrestling and I liked a lot of the heels, and Edge and Christian, as much as you were supposed to hate them, they were a couple of the funniest guys on the show, and just watching them was watching Edge in particular. You kind of knew he was gonna do big things. You always hoped it for Christian, but you always knew Edge was gonna be uh, to to put it in this way. You always knew that Edge was gonna be the Shawn, and maybe Christian would end up the Marty Jannetty. Though it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. But yeah, totally just shell shocked, not ready for Edge to retire last night. He's been a part of some of my favorite moments in wrestling. I can when like I said, I got into wrestling in 2000, which meant I kind of missed the front half of the Attitude Era. 2000, 2001 was kind of the end of that era, and then you got in once the invasion. That's considered the post-invasion era. But I pretty much have watched Edge's in really his entire career. Besides some of the stuff when he was with the Brood, and he was kind of this happy, smiley face. who screamed a lot. Um, and I just I'm sitting here thinking about all the things I can remember about Edge. Um, I remember him winning King of the Ring uh, back in the day when King of the Ring really meant something. It being really excited, I was kind of a smart by that point, and I was kind of already starting to turn cynical, and even after only watching it for a year, and but Edge was the one person that I hated Triple H, hated John Cena, hated all these guys, but Edge is the one guy that I always kind of found myself defending, and I really wanted Edge to win the King of the Ring tournament, and then he won it, and I was super psyched, and he came out on Raw the next night and called Billy Gunn Billy Bitch Cakes, and just him winning the Intercontinental Championship, his ladder match with Christian for the Intercontinental Championship during the Invasion angle, his match with Lance Storm when he won the Intercontinental Championship, probably one of the most underrated matches. One of those matches no one has ever heard of, would never think of, but you know that match, and then him breaking his neck, and I just remember being really sad about uh, his neck getting broken, and him coming back and doing kind of the same thing he was doing before, and then his heel turn. Edge, Edge will go down in history as probably one of the greatest heels to ever do it, and then winning Money in the Bank, winning the WWE Championship, even though he only held it for 2 weeks. um, all the stuff with Lita. And I remember hating Edge when Matt Hardy got fired. I remember just being like, "Oh man, what kind of dude does that to his friend?" And damn you, Lita and Edge, for breaking Matt Hardy's heart. And now Matt's crazy, and it's kind of funny how divergent their two paths kind of went with respect to Matt and Edge. And because really, when you think about it, Edge boning Lita was probably the single best career move that guy made, short of maybe cutting his hair. And just there was a topic on the forums, on the Spoonie Experiment forums, about it was about a kid that cried when John Cena lost the WWE, lost the main event at WrestleMania, and someone just said, it's just wrestling. I can't really get that emotionally invested in it. It's not that important." And I kind of understood that, and I can't understand that, but and I'm allowing for the fact that this is still a work, and if it's not a work, I'll be pissed for like 2 seconds, and then I'll be happy again because Edge will be back. But it's moments like this in wrestling that kind of ground you in the fact that, yeah, all this all this silly wrestling shit kind of matters to me. Um, Kind of at a lost for words. I don't really. I made a vlog and I'm at a lost for words. But I'm gonna miss Edge a lot. Um, I'm really gonna miss him a lot. I can't imagine turning on a WWE show and Edge kind of not Edge not being on it. Like I said, he's probably one of the biggest contributors to the fact that I'm a wrestling fan today. And you you kind of hate to see your heroes leave that way. And he left on top. He won the championship at WrestleMania, and or retained at WrestleMania. he's been able to tag team with his best friend a couple more times, and I'm definitely gonna miss Edge. Um, gonna miss his matches, and I'm just thinking of the matches he had with Eddie, and the match he had, uh, some of the matches he had with Matt, where he would just fucking, those two guys would just go out there and fucking potato the shit out of each other, and matches with Ray, his match with Ray are some of his more underrated matches. Uh, Match with Jeff, all his tag team stuff. Uh, it kind of makes me upset that I actually sold my Edge DVD. I kind of wish I had kept it now, so I could go back and watch some of that stuff. And yeah, you'll probably never ever see this video. You don't have a Twitter, you don't have a Facebook, but Edge, on the on the slim chance that you ever see this, just know that I respect the hell out of you, and you 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 made a lot of my childhood memories very happy. There were times when I hated you. There were times when I loved you. If you're at the end of the day, if you're not considered one of the best, then people don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to the best. And I know people have mixed feelings about Edge, but um, yeah, I'm gonna miss you, Edge. I'm gonna miss you, buddy. And good on you for knowing your body and knowing that sometimes there are greater things in life than wrestling. Unlike certain other wrestlers who you might have idolized, who essentially, this is what I really kind of want to talk about because I felt like raging about it, and I'm not on the show this week. At least I don't think so. And Hulk Hogan, after Edge's retirement, like I said, we were all pretty shell shocked. Sitting in the chat, it was me, War Machine, Christopher Says, Tifus, Duos Angel, a few other people, and we're just sitting there going, Valar man, and we're all sitting there going, this has to be work. Like when they started showing the vignettes and stuff, we're like, this has to be a work. They're not serious. That's just retiring. This is another stupid angle. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this on Raw? And then he comes out, he cuts his promo, and we're kind of going, it's still work. And then he kind of breaks down and starts crying, and it's like, oh shit, oh no, oh no. But after that was when everyone's favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan, decided to take to Twitter, and essentially what he said was, hey, me and all these old guys, we always wrestled hurt. We always wrestled with broken necks. We always, basically what he was saying more or less was that Edge was a pussy, for deciding. Hold on, sorry, bear with me for a moment. Um, uh, yeah, so sorry. I'm not cutting this, so if there's a large gap, I apologize. But he says, if any of the guys like me, Flair, Matt Hardy, Andre, Arn Anderson, Blanchard, Orndorff, Hennig would have listened to the doctors who would quit 15 years ago, and then he uses Edge's retirement roundabout way to blast the WWE and calls them a media company instead of a fucking wrestling company. You know what, Hulk Hogan? You just went through several of the most painful goddamn back surgeries in your life. You're right, you dumb fuck. You're right that the doctors told you not to fucking wrestle anymore. Why? Because by the time you're your age, you would have a back that resembled a fucking jigsaw puzzle. This man, in his clouded vision of himself, his self-inflated fucking ego. Who the fuck is Hulk Hogan to tell Edge, you should keep wrestling, but yeah, I know you're experiencing the numbness, brother. I know, but all these other old guys, they kept on wrestling. That's why half of them can't fucking walk, right? You ever seen the left side of all? Have you ever seen the left side of Mr. Wonderful's fucking arm, of his fucking body? He's got no tone because he can't feel a goddamn thing on his left side. Did you ever think of that? Same thing with Arn. Arn broke his fucking neck. And Arn fucking left. Arn knew. Arn Anderson fucking knew when it was time to go. Could Arn Anderson have kept wrestling? He probably could have. But would he? No, because he's a fucking man. And he had to think to himself, do I want to be able to fucking walk one day? Do I want to be able to fucking pick up my grandchildren one fucking day? How fucking dare this fucking douche nozzle? This is a man who has to wear a back brace on a day-to-day basis, who will never feel normal another day in his life, who wants to get back in the ring and wrestle. You know, the great ones in all sports know when to hang it up. The great ones in everything know when it's time to move on, when it's time to take that next step in your life, to go out on top, to go out the very best you can be, so you don't become another fucking laughing stock. So 10, 15 years down the fucking line, people are going, wow, Hulk Hogan was one of the greatest of all time. Not he was an overrated douchebag who overstayed his welcome and fucking crippled himself. The fuck does this guy get off? I don't give a shit about what you say about Hulk Hogan anymore. I don't give a shit about what he did in the 80s. I don't give a shit about the fucking NWO. Fuck this guy. I have lost the last little morsel of fucking goddamn respect I have for this motherfucker. I wrestled hurt. I wrestled with a broken back. Good for you. Good for fucking Flair, who's another dumbass who's ruining his fucking legacy. Who's wrestling hurt. Who's fucking broke. Good for you. At least Edge has a good goddamn sense to save himself some money and say, I want to be able to I want to be able to play with my fucking kids. I don't want to fucking be paralyzed from the goddamn neck down. It's beyond me. For him to say that, Edge tells the story of him going to WrestleMania 6 and crying when Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship. Crying when Hulk Hogan was carried away on that stupid little cart thing they had, looking back in the ring as Warrior celebrated with the title. if Edge knew what he knows now, I don't think he would have ever been a fucking fan of the guy. If it's they always say you should never meet your heroes, you should never meet your idols, because a lot of them turn out to be douchebags. Congrats, Hulk. Congrats, you just proved everybody right. You proved another goddamn thing right about you. I you Larry Sweeney committed suicide on Sunday. Edge retired. This this is wrestling is probably the most physically demanding thing you can do, you know. And football players have an off season, basketball players, baseball, all the major sports have off seasons. You're not going all the time. You know, I'm not. I love football. I'm not devaluing the fact that getting crushed by a fucking 300-pound defensive tackle, 280-pound linebacker, something like that hurts like hell. But you have an off season to get over that shit. It's been surprising to me because Hulk Hogan's not the first one to kind of say this shit. These fucking stupid old timers who live in that foggy mentality of theirs, that foggy, it's still real to me mentality, in their faux toughness. These are guys who could have a much better quality of life if someone had just grabbed them and said, "Stop, brother, stop. It's enough. You're Hulk Hogan. What else can you do? You've won every major championship. You've wrestled all over the world. It's time to stop. It's not about you. It's not about you, motherfucker. It's not about you." I'm gonna make that a fucking shirt soon. It's time to change. It's time for the business to go in a new direction. It's time for you to move on. It's time for you to do something different. For for him to say that probably pissed me off more than anything. And to use Edge's retirement to get a backhanded insult in about the WWE not being a wrestling company. Hulk Hogan, everything your wife has, she has due to Vince McMahon and the WWF. You're fucking no one in TNA, brother. You bought you bought no exposure. You bought no exposure to that company. You're fucking nobody. You're a zilcho. You're zero. Nada. Persona non grata. Edge. Edge. I respect Edge a lot for knowing when to hang it up. And you know what? Stranger things have happened. Edge might come back. He might decide, hey, I miss it. You know, I can wrestle a match or two. But this newer generation of guys, they know when to quit. They they've saved their money. They saved their money. They've planned for life outside of wrestling. They've started businesses. They've tried to pursue acting careers. They've all started to do things that excuse me, that will help them exist outside of wrestling. While the old timers like Hulk Hogan, like Ric Flair, are monopolizing TV time, talking about I don't know who you are, talking about doesn't matter how many fake titles you have. You guys are fucking jokes. losers, complete and utter losers. I I have nothing but the utmost respect for a guy like Edge, who absolutely 110% know that it was time to go. I've got nothing but contempt and disgust for Hulk Hogan nowadays. I'm NoLeaf Clover, and fuck you, Hulk.